I think God and Moses both just have enormous respect for each other.
Come live with me.
What gladiator has that big striped spear at the neck?
Look, the judges are nodding. Even the Egyptian judges impressed.
Until recently, you claimed that the earth revolved around the sun.
Welcome to History Bites. I'm Rick Green. One of the more disturbing trends in television today is its increasing sensationalism. From Monica's stained dress to John Wayne Bobbitt's cut-off jeans, we can all agree that modern television consistently aims below the belt. Thankfully, here at History Bites, our standards are a little higher. So get ready to be riveted to your seats by the extraordinary exploits of medieval French theologian Peter Abelard. He was a major player in the fields of dialectics and ethics. His views on logic and scripture ignited groundbreaking theological debates. And if television had been around in the 12th century, it would have just focused on the dirt. You know, Peter's affair with one of his students, and then her getting pregnant, and then how her angry relatives castrated him. Luckily, we're above that sort of thing.
From high atop the Howard Stern Siege Tower, this is the Howard Stern Radio Show.
All right, lords and ladies, welcome to the dungeon. Today on the show, we got Peter Abelard coming on. Now, if you haven't heard of this guy, you're still in the dark ages. This guy's a professor. He's written books on theology. He's shaking things up in the church.
That's about all he's got left to shake.
Well, exactly. Thank you, Robin. You see, because the thing is with this guy, well, there's just no way to put it delicately. Peter Abalard's been castrated.
Somebody pruned his twigs and picked his berries.
Yeah, they carved his joint of meat and scalloped his potatoes.
So now no one will touch his leftovers.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, man, that's sick. Okay, now, apparently Peter got hired by the canon of Paris. This is the guy who runs the Paris church, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, to tutor the canon's niece. One thing leads to another. All of a sudden, he's teaching her hands-on. Yeah, from book knowledge to carnal knowledge.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's what she said. But then, get this, her uncle catches Peter with his pants down. Next thing you know, it's like... So now Peter's Peterless.
Peter's got no Peter.
Can you imagine that? And he's also famous because he's done some stuff about reforming the church or something, too. I don't know. Peter, welcome to the show. Let me say, it is an honor to have you here with us today.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here, Howard. You know, I spent so much time in the monastery. It's just great to make the journey to Paris to talk theology with normal people.
Yeah, right, sure. We'll get to that in a bit. But first, my listeners are really interested in hearing about your recent loss.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yes, right. It was painful, you know, to lose it like that. Watching it go, a precious book on the Trinity. But the church forced me to burn it.
No.
I'm
I'm talking about something else you lost. Something a little more important than a book.
Something a man has and enjoys every day.
Yes, well, my freedom. In a sense, I lost my freedom when I was confined to a monastery, but that was my choice.
No. Come on, Peter. Talk about it. Be a man.
Is that still possible?
You are talking about me being punished for my worldly sins, aren't you? I was hoping you wouldn't bring that up.
I had to. I mean, you can't.
Robert, which two relatives are currently ravaging England with their family feud?
Anglo and Saxon.
Stephen and Matilda. Teresa. St. Thomas Aquinas has said that a Christian's behavior is heavily influenced by what?
The stars in astrology?
Correct. Will. If a vassal wants a fief of land to live on, he must do what kind of service for the nobleman who owns it?
Nookie.
No, military service. Lumpy.
Coming up on Oprah today, some weight loss tips that don't involve famine. Plus, leeches, to bleed or not to bleed. It's every new mother's toughest decision.
Here now, that was the musical balladry of the minstrel cycle. And now, before we bring out Thomas the town crier, here's something for the kiddies. With bells on their legs, the musical monotone merriment of Morris dancing.
I would be the last one to deny that the scripture is the sine qua non of moral rectitude.
Yeah,
and yet,
All right.
Thoroughgoing analysis leads us to the conclusion, if I may play the Corazon here.
Oh, yeah. Go right ahead. Did they cut your Corazon off?
Corazon Howard, someone who claims that a book was written by more than one author.
Oh, yeah, Corazon.
So, the Bible, originating from a multiplicity of authors, is fraught with internal inconsistencies. No, we cannot merely disregard reason for mystical contemplation or ecstatic vision. We need scholarly investigation and reasoned argument. You see what I'm saying?
So tell me, was it worse than a paper cut on the tongue?
Peter Abelard was a theologian and a teacher, not a member of the clergy. Still, he had decided to take a vow of celibacy. Why, asks pretty much every guy watching? Well, remember, during medieval times, the church frowned on sex, except, of course, if it was for procreation. And even then, their position was strictly missionary. Since the church controlled almost all the spheres of learning, to get ahead as an academic, you had to steer clear of sex. Talk about the paper chased.
Come on, Peter. You're a popular guy. Smart, right? I read somewhere you're a charismatic speaker. You probably had women lining up at your door, so why this Heloise chick? You know, was it her beauty? Her great gams?
No.
Did you have a big
Howard,
balcony or what?
It was actually her mind.
Her mind? Whoa.
No. I get it. I mean, Peter's an intelligent guy. He needs a sophisticated woman to share your ideas with, right? And a mistress on the side to share your bed with. Live like a king, right?
No. It was just Heloise, no mistresses.
I knew it. He's gay.
See, Peter, I'm having a tough time getting my head around this. Did you get tired of the bimbos, the ladies of the night?
Before Heloise, I was celibate.
Really? See, I don't get that. In this day and age, celibate?
Celibacy, what's up with that? I mean, it's not like you're a priest or anything.
And hey, celibacy didn't even become a rule for priests until that thing last year in Rome where they were talking about only having one pope instead of two, right? You know,
the Second Lateran Council of 1139
Yeah, that's it. Suddenly no nookie for clerical guys, am I right?
Yes,
but
Howard,
you weren't even
but
a cleric.
I am a philosopher. All the great philosophers knew about the temptation of women, and they resisted. Pagan and Christian philosophers, St. Jerome,
okay, but I
Seneca,
got news for you,
Aristotle.
pal. The only reason those guys didn't fall prey to women was because they were too busy with little boys.
Beware of Greeks bearing quiche.
Tonight, the changing face of our justice system. Is it time to say goodbye to the old-fashioned legal tactics such as plunging people into cold water? Many top prosecutors say yes. The old methods for determining guilt or innocence are unreliable and should be replaced by more scientific methods like plunging their limbs into boiling water.
Great thinkers can't afford the luxury of women. Women drain you of all reason.
Oh, we'll drain you all right, but not of your reason.
Hey, let's face it, you were just celibate for the hell of it.
No,
Robert, what do you call a person who spurns meat, sex, does not believe in procreation, and rejects worldly things?
The little woman?
A kafir. Teresa, where is the one place you will see lots of unicorns?
On a knight's shield.
Correct.
She wanted to stay your mistress, but you wanted to get married. Now, for a guy who debates logic, that's pretty stupid. What century is this?
Who knows? Ask a monk.
Heloise thought marriage would be bad for my career. For a philosopher, a wife's a liability. Now, on the other hand, I argued that for her to remain my mistress would mean that she'd have a bastard son, and as a woman, that brings her value down.
Been there, done that.
Oh, boy.
So, what'd you do?
Well, all good relationships are based on compromise, so we compromised. We were married in secret.
Hey, sneaky. All right, now, Peter, as promised, we're going to debate some of these theological ideas of yours.
Oh, great, finally.
Yeah.
Boy, I've been preparing for this
but
all
first,
week.
I gotta meet this chick. You know, your after-school special. Oh, yeah! Look at you! Oh, Heloise is wearing a nun's habit. Man, is that sexy! Oh, you look good, honey. You know, I'd give up a piece of me to get a piece of you.
Be careful what you wish for, Howard.
Thanks, Howard.
Coming up, knowledge for knowledge's sake, and biblical knowledge for fun. In the early 1100s, all of Europe was smitten and shocked by the true but tragic student-teacher love affair between Peter Abelard and Heloise. Why were they shocked? Because he gave her sex? Nah, big deal. Because he gave her a baby? So what? No, he gave that woman an education. And in medieval France, that sort of thing just wasn't done.
Okay, Heloise, darling, tell me this. I know Peter can't be a man for you anymore, but why'd you have to go deprive the rest of us and become a nun?
Peter said, "Get thee to a nunnery." So I went.
Okay, why the nunnery, Peter?
Well, Fulbert said he'd keep the marriage a secret, but...
Now, Fulbert, this is her uncle, right? The guy who wanted Heloise tutored and had you neutered.
Yes. Anyway, it was important to keep our marriage quiet to protect my reputation as a teacher and a philosopher, but then Fulbert started chewing his mouth off, telling everyone we're married and she's pregnant.
Yeah, and I had to set people straight,
okay.
so I told them.
Oh, I see.
We're not married. He is not my husband.
Okay,
and-
I can understand that. I'd be pretty embarrassed if I had a eunuch husband.
What would you say if someone asked for the man of the house?
Sorry, can't help you. The knocker's gone off the door. Yeah.
Okay, now this was before the castration, okay? Anyway, Fulbert was angry and he beat the hell out of Heloise, and I decided then and there to put her in a convent to protect her. Because nobody beats my wife.
That's the husband's job, right?
Okay, yeah, right. So Uncle Fulbert thinks you dumped his niece off at a nunnery and ran off, right? That's why he had you fixed. Or, to be more precise. Wow!
For most of us, buying a new dress is just a dream. To actually own a new outfit remains the exclusive realm of the nobles. But when the noble women wear out their designer originals, these gowns are handed down to their ladies-in-waiting, who eventually hand them down to the maids, who eventually hand them down to the serfs. So let's take a look at the latest new creations that you'll be wearing in about 8 years. Now, this is fabulous. But of course, by the time it reaches you, it'll be faded, torn, worn, filthy, and patched.
Now, Heloise, you're in a nunnery now, right? You've been through a lot of changes in your life.
I sure have.
You've had a child. Nursed that child. Did you find it affected the shape of your hooters?
A bit, maybe.
Could we see? Oh, come on. For me, now, one theologian has argued it's okay for a confessor to fondle a nun's headlights if there's no evil intent.
All right, that's true, but I would argue the point...
All we're asking for is a quick look. How about it?
I really
Come on, this is the
don't
12th
think-
century. We see press every day in the street and the fields.
What with the price of cloth?
I'm a modern,
Yeah.
free-thinking woman, but
Yeah, well,
I couldn't do something like that unless I was ordered to by my husband.
okay, Peter, how about it?
Howard, this is blatant exploitation of a woman in order to further your own career. I will not allow her to show her body on the show. Well, unless we can discuss my new religious works.
All right, it's a deal. Tit for track. Now, come on, Hel.
If Peter's punishment seems cruel and unusual by today's standards, if medieval justice sounds barbaric, if the laws and the rules of society back then seem harsh and cruel and arbitrary, they were.
And then what happened?
Well, I was holding the wooden peg against the axle and I swung it, and wham! Smashed my finger. Just mashed it all up.
And you want to know who you can sue?
Yeah, I wanna sue someone, Sue.
Well, has our caller got a case?
Well, Sue, that depends. You might be able to sue the manufacturer of the hammer.
Well, Chuck, I made the hammer.
Oh, okay, well, you might consider suing the cart maker or the wheelwright who made the wheel in the first place.
That was me and me.
Well, sounds like this caller can't sue anyone.
Well, you know what? Actually, he can sue Sue under Ordo law.
Under Ordo law.
That's true, Sue. You see, since every living thing, an inanimate object, has its own legal status, it can be prosecuted and it can be held accountable for its actions.
Even an animal like a duck, Chuck?
Even a duck, doesn't matter if...
Chuck, you're saying our caller can take the hammer to court under Ordo law.
Yeah, objects, creatures, anything, they all have their own legal status.
Okay, and if he wins his case, how much can he win in a settlement?
Ooh, well, I would guesstimate probably, as much as a hammer.
Oh, excellent.
Let's face it, when you gotta go, you gotta go. And at my age, sometimes you don't even know you gotta go. You just know you've gone. Well, thank goodness our streets are just one big public washroom. We don't have too many freedoms in this world, but it seems to me that the freedom to dispose of our bodily waste when and where we want is one that's worth hanging on to.
Despite the fact that you've degraded the love of my life, debased your listeners, and made fun of my missing married parts, I'd like to thank you.
Yeah. For what?
I've been condemned by some heavyweights. Bernard de
Yeah.
Clairvaux,
Oh, yeah.
William St. Thierry, Hugh of St. Victor.
Never heard of him.
I dated a Hugh who had a brother named Victor.
Look, I've had a lot of trouble from the French Church Council,
Hey, look, the FCC's after me all the time, too. That's why I'm like, hey, you don't want to listen? You got fingers, plug your ears. Now, Peter, come on, you came on the show to debate theology, but I don't feel qualified to debate you. I can't sit here and pretend I'm some kind of intellectual.
He can't even pretend he has an intellect.
That's right. Thank you very much, Robin. Okay, so here's what we've done. We've scoured the countryside to find you a suitable mental sparring partner. Someone who can debate even the great Peter Abelard. Please welcome Gary the Village Idiot. Okay, Gary the Village Idiot. What can I say? It's a great pleasure to have you on the show today.
A cow stepped on my head today.
Good for you.
Look, Howard, I can't debate this man.
Yeah, you see, Gary? Yeah. Peter recognizes your genius, and already he wants to forfeit.
Fine. Let's just do this.
Okay, good. Now, gentlemen, the rules are simple. Each of you will present your theological case, then I, as the judge, will pick the winner to be awarded the title Master Debater. Okay, Peter, you first.
Gary, Anselm of Canterbury stated that if God created Christ as a man, then surely God would approve of man's attempts to understand him.
Okay, that's a good point, yeah.
However, understanding Christ and his redemptive works requires questioning, and the church does not approve of questions.
Whatever.
It's a relief to know I can relieve myself wherever and whenever I need relieving. It means I don't have to keep things bottled up, and that's got to be healthier for everyone. But in Paris, they're trying to change that. They're talking about painting Christian crosses on the walls to stop people from urinating on them. I wonder, though, will that really stop anyone? Because when nature calls, you've got to answer. You can't put nature's call on hold, not even for God.
It maintains that faith is more important than understanding.
What's next? Are they going to paint crosses on the street so we can't throw our waste out the window? Is my wife going to start putting little crosses around the chamber pot so I won't pee on the seat? I guess I'll have to live with the crosses and just cross my legs. But that's one cross I can't promise I won't pee on.
Faith as one's guide on the road to truth is like the blind leading the blind. You see, if faith is your guide, then any discovery that runs contrary to the tenets of that faith will surely be ignored.
Okay, I'm sorry, Peter. I have to cut you off there.
That's okay. He's used to it.
Yeah. Okay, Gary the Village Idiot, your turn.
You're questioning the church? You're a bigger idiot than I am.
Yeah, right. And Gary the Village Idiot's argument makes more sense than Peter's because you would be dumb to question the church. That would be heresy, and you'd be burned or lose your, you know what. So, so I'll have to award the title of Master Debater to Gary the Village Idiot. Yeah. Gary, how do you feel?
My head smells like cow foot.
According to the Old Testament, a man with missing or damaged stones was outcast from the assembly of the Lord. And while it might not have been taken literally, the notion that eunuchs were somehow less than human carried through to Christian Europe. So even though Peter Abelard was a great scholar and teacher, his castration was a major source of shame. To make matters worse, Abelard believed that the loss of his stones was divine retribution. Yeah, God knows how to get you where it hurts.
Okay, if you just joined us, we're here with Peter Abelard, a philosopher whose writings have clarified the works of Aristotle. And Peter also knocked up a chick and got castrated for it. So what's next for Peter Abelard?
Well, I checked myself into a monastery for a while. I want to make peace with God.
Peter, now, why do you have to make peace with God? Are you ticked off at him?
No, he's mad at me. I mean, that's why all this happened. It's God's punishment. I mean, I made a vow to him to be chaste, and I broke that vow.
Yeah, that's right. Not much good cheating on God. I mean, the guy's omnivorous.
You mean omniscient?
Yeah, that too. I mean, the guy's everywhere. He knows when you've been naughty or nice. Come on. He's like the ultimate stalker.
No restraining orders for God.
As a philosopher, the only logical conclusion that I can arrive at is that
here we go again.
God is responsible for everything.
Right.
So, even though my manhood was removed by the hand of man, the hand guiding that hand was God's hand.
Lucky you didn't sin with your neck.
Yeah. Okay, now, Peter, how about your music career? Now, you're a great songwriter. You wrote some dynamite love songs for Heloise. We don't have much time left on the show, so would you do us the honor of singing us out?
All right.
This will be great. Okay.
Sometimes us mere mortal men go astray and we do bad. And meanwhile up in the firmament it makes the big guy mad. Well, since he wreaked his awful revenge, it hurts to kneel and pray. God must be feeling testy, 'cause it just took mine away.
Yeah! Hey, I like this. This is good. Yeah, okay.
I taught a girl named
But
Heloise.
It's good. I love it. Yeah.
She loved me with her mind. I didn't know that if I left God, I'd leave a piece of me behind. We added wine and subtracted our clothes. We multiplied for days. God must be feeling testy, 'cause he just took mine away.
Right, a cowboy.
Oh, he can't. This bull's a steer.
Now I told God I'd be
Right.
faithful.
I forgot about
And to the Lord, you cannot lie,
that. Okay.
or he'll make your life a living hell. Send you there when you die. Now that's the history of my troubles, of how I'm half a man, and how I went from standing up to sitting down while on the can.
The story of Peter Abelard and Heloise remains one of the great romantic tragedies. Some sources even claim the couple were the inspiration for Romeo and Juliet. Fortunately, neither of them committed suicide. The very talented and intelligent Heloise went on to become head of a convent. Peter lived out his days as a monk, continuing to stir up controversy and excitement in the church with his writings. He was repeatedly charged with heresy, and his books were on the church's forbidden list for years. Luckily, Peter's autobiography survived. He called it Historia Calamitatum, or History of My Troubles. Maybe a better title would have been Historia Castratum Bitum.
Now when the fellas draw their swords, I have to say touche. God must be feeling testy, 'cause he just took mine away. God must be feeling testy, 'cause he just took mine